I heard someone say when you don't know what to pray, just a simple, Father, let your will be done in my family as it is in heaven. It's just all you need to say sometimes. Welcome back to another video. In the spiritual realm, there are lines that should never be crossed. There are boundaries set by the Most High God that when violated, it triggers a divine response. Now we quote the scripture, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. But we have to realize this was never a suggestion. It is a divine decree, a spiritual law that remains in effect regardless of whether the world chooses to believe it or not. And when an individual is divinely covered by the King of Kings, we are not just lucky or blessed, we are marked. When someone decides to come up against a chosen child of God, they are not just engaging in some, petty conflict. They are literally drafting their own spiritual death sentence. One of the most terrifying realities for the wicked is that they serve a God who sees in total light. You know, the wicked operate in the shadows, believing that their plots, those little secret meetups you guys do, the little group chats, the witchcraft, paying people to come against someone else, all that stuff, their secret schemes. But for the child of God that is covered, there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed or hidden that will not be made known. The Most High is a God of revelation. Through prayer, the secrets of the enemy are stripped bare. What was whispered in the dark is shouted from the rooftops. When you come against someone covered by the blood, you are not just fighting a person. You are fighting the one who stands at their right hand. So, what happens to those who are still out here doing your witchcraft, still plotting, still setting up attacks, after you were warned, probably through dreams, countless warnings to stop? History and scripture make it very, very, very clear. The consequences are catastrophic. God takes the persecution of his children very, very personally, and the pit you dig becomes your own. Scripture tells us that those who plot against the righteous often fall into their very own traps that they set. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them. Let me remind you, God does not just stand by and watch. He takes up the mantle of defender. When the enemy approaches, God declares, no weapon formed against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. The consequences for the attacker is that their weapons, their spells, their slander, their plots are rendered null and void. And often what we get to see is all that negative energy, that darkness, it comes right back onto you. This is why I tell people, kind of be careful who you run up and go help. You don't know who's going through their own karma right now. Divine correction. Pray, take them to God in prayer, pray about it, and allow God to show you what's really going on behind the scenes. When a person engages in witchcraft or deliberate harm against God's vessel, they position themselves as an enemy of the Almighty. The Bible consistently shows that those who persecute God's servants eventually face a crushing judgment. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. If you find yourself tempted to come against someone that God has set apart, I need you to pause. If you are still practicing your witchcraft, your kitchen magic, spreading malice, or standing in the way of someone's divine assignment, understand this: you are walking on cracked ice over an abyss. You do not have to believe in the sovereignty of God for his laws to apply to you. Gravity exists whether you believe in it or not, and so does the protective hedge around God's chosen. When a person is covered, they are under the jurisdiction of the Most High. If you are currently the target of this wickedness, if you're currently going through it right now, I don't want you to be afraid. Do not fear. Your job is to not retaliate. I need you to stay in the secret place of the Most High. Continue to pray. Continue to pray. That's it. Be faithful and watch as the Most High, your Father, exposes the plots of the wicked and sets a table for you in the presence of your enemies. The battle belongs to the Lord, and he has never once lost a fight.